Now, good morning, people. Side one's tacked up. A little bit on the warm side, but not going anywhere. Just got to get lined up and tacked up like this. And we're going to bring you down. Right here is the coming off the collector's exhaust. You've got to remember this tire's 2 inches out that way still, so it'll be 2 inches over. The only question I have is on the brake line fitting. I'm about 1.5 inches away from the down tube. That's supposed to be acceptable. Okay. I don't think so. I don't like it. But see, now these things are welded up stiff enough. Then I can pop the bolts and lift it out of there. And Jimmy can get on the MIG and get a good penetrating weld around them. Then I'll get to grind it, clean it up a little bit. And we'll hang them up and paint them. Show you mounting them back in here. I can get my hand between there now, just barely. Finger, I should say. Well, not quite. 2 inches of space over. Gonna leave plenty of room. The brake piece I'm talking about, I don't know if I can get you in a position to see it with all this stuff in the way. Yeah, I can. Right here. Steel line comes down, rubber line comes out the bottom and goes to the lower fitting down here. So I may cut the tab, drill the bracket, and move everything over 1 inch, because that'd be 2.5 inches versus 1.25 inches. I think 1.5 inches is the required minimum, so the heat won't affect the brake. Sounds good to me anyway, but I want a little bit of extra, so when the wheel's off I can reach here and zip that off and then drill it. And just put my clip piece over on there. Just cut it off, move that over, match the hole up, cut the tab off. I like to have 2.5 inches in there. Most people think I worry about stuff. Well, I'd rather do it now than when the car's totally dressed out and it decides to expand the brake fluid and start riding the pads on the see, I'll get a better view here in a second for you. I gotta pull this anyway. Just a quick lesson on what I'm thinking. Ow! I keep forgetting that daggone plate's so close. That's gonna leave a mark. Ow! Now I know why Zoomy the shop dog, when I start working, takes off running. Okay, now we got a good view. Sorry about the twisting around here. I'm trying to get... Now we got you in place. The header is free from the body. this bracket's what I was talking about, moving over to just drill a hole here, cut the arm off the back a little bit, and then cut this tab off so you can take this little piece here and slide it over here and drill the looks like a 3/8 hole. The metal line will come into it, and then the rubber line will come down to the caliper right here. As long as when I set it and angle it, when we turn the wheel, that the rubber line folds away from the heat instead of toward it, we're good to go. All the headers have been tacked in.
They were the right ones, weren't they?
And everything's going. I'm not going to touch the welds. I know better. I've done that. Too many burns. I can actually pull this one off. I'll do it later. I had a suggestion from one of my comments to pull the tube off that I bought, the short one, and put the cap directly on the valve cover, which never passed my mind, because the way it locked on, I didn't think this cap would lock the same way. It's O-ringed and locks the same way the extension tube. So now I got a long one, the short one, and none at all. So my 710 cap, 710, is now on the valve cover, which saves me some room. I appreciate that comment. This is my first venture with these LSs, so I am learning as I go. If it was a regular Chevrolet small block, the old school one, this engine would have already been in, set up, and been running. But I got to do all this other stuff, so I might as well do it. There's the header in. I got to start cutting header tubes for the other side. I got to shrink the header tubes. I got to weld up the header tubes, grind them, polish them. And what I did is when I cut the ones for this side, I used the measurement over there. The one I made for the test that I measured off of was off that side. So every one of these tubes had to be cut or trimmed, because this one sits closer in. The engine sits to this side slightly. Fun little fact. Yep, that's a solid little weld. Jimmy will come in, he can run a tighter weld than I can. He'll weld it, and I'll grind it, clean it, paint it, bolt it on, and send it, as they say. I want to get the cross member pieces welded back in that I cut out. Sorry about that. My allergies are already going crazy. So I guess we set the header up for this side. There you go. Space from the body, space from the damper, space from the brake part, space from the tire. Plus, when the tire gets a 4 by 4 1/4 to 5 3/4, or 4 3/4, the S10 one, it'll kick it over 2 inches and it'll give me plenty of room. I don't have to worry about tire balls or anything else rubbing. Boy, it was hard to get that one right there to go in. finally got it. I had to anchor this one to set that one so I could set this one so I could make this one, if that makes any sense. So this one's going to be spaced. It'll have to be filled with weld. Then around here, and lo and behold, it's ready for him to then when he gets done welding, I get to start grinding and all that, okay? This is the next side up. I would love to have both sides of the headers tacked today. Haven't forgot about you people. I'm trying to grab this real quick. This one is so much straightforward. It isn't funny. Okay. That one over there, I use this spacing and it's tighter over there by 3/4 of an inch and sits at a slight angle to clear everything. Simply was a pain in the tush. So now I gotta go cut 4 more of these. I don't need that many cuts to shrink it. Kind of overdid it a little. These all should be the same according to what I measured out. Those, every one was slightly different because it leaned. I cut them to this size, so I made a mistake. That's a fail. If I'd have picked up this header tube and cleaned it and started putting them on, they would have lined up and I'd have been done last night. Oh well. Oh well. Nice thing about having a guy who used to fabricate and build stuff, he's got all the right tools. Since mine have basically been stolen from me from over the years, I'm putting cameras up. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. It seems like the tools that I missed are the tools that people I knew tried to borrow and I told them no, then all of a sudden I can't find my tools. So what's that tell you? It didn't take a hit in the head with a baseball bat to let me know what was going down. I already got one suspect lined up. So we got to cut them, bang them with a hammer, weld the grooves up, grind them, polish them, and fit them. So that's what we'll get ready to do. Real quick here. I'll need this, I'll need these. Got my safety glasses on. I'll move my umbrella over here, give me a little bit of comfort in the shade. I'll do that off the camera. We're gonna go inside and set up the saw. See if we can't make a couple of pieces there. Getting ready to cut it. First we need power. This saw is going to come in so freaking handy when I start doing the support H-frame for the back of this car. As in, totally time saving. I can measure and cut everything. I got all the steel here somewhere. I got the square tube. Obviously I got the round tube. Right on the money. See if you get a little better view from right here. I'm trying to get better camera views. I need a camera person. Guys. And that's what we have to do. Is I got to make 4 of those. Do the same thing you saw me do the other day. Do the cross cut, hammer them down, weld the grooves, sand them off, grind them off, polish the mill finish off of them, and we'll come back on when I line this one up to do it. So people, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll get this thing done. Get your build on.